Well, hey there. What's going on? Greetings and aloha. It is Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com, along with my very, very good friend, ladies and gentlemen.
Robbie from Walking in My Shoes, Thailand. There we go. We're getting it down. Robbie and Walking My Shoes, Thailand, coming to you from Chaing Mai.
So you were up there. You've been up there now, what, a couple days?
Just a couple of days. So good morning from Chaing Mai.
Oh, dude, that's pretty awesome. Now, just out of curiosity, right? I mean, obviously you're over here and you're experiencing, and one could argue that you're still a little bit of a newbie, but quite frankly, you've pretty much got the whole flow of stuff going on. Why Chaing Mai?
Sure.
Yeah, tourists go.
Do you mean I got the whole flow thing when it comes to Thailand?
Yeah, I mean, look, the bottom line is if your buddies back in California, whatever, ask you stuff about Thailand, I would submit you could pretty much answer those questions 90% of the time, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And now, after being in Chiang Mai, another very popular city, right? Obviously, Bangkok, Phuket, Pattaya, so Chiang Mai. But why Chiang Mai?
So a couple of reasons is when I did my YouTube binge watching, I followed a couple of guys in Chiang Mai, and I also have a very good buddy. He might be tuning on here in a few minutes. Bradley.
Bradley,
he lives here in Chiang Mai. Yeah, if he wakes up. I think he gets up late, but
okay.
It is 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we're 8 a.m. East Coast. So he's on the East Coast, or sorry, 8 p.m.
Well,
East
he's
Coast,
here in
5
Chiang
p.m.
Mai.
Chiang Mai. So you're going to hang out with him?
I hope so. I was supposed to hang out with him on Monday.
Okay.
So so I got a couple more days of just kind of loitering around, I'd like to say.
Yeah, nice, right. And so obviously, right, when people ask about places, we'll talk a little bit about the cost of it up there, but mainly how you got there, because one could argue that the more common way, right, is airplane. The next people would be like, oh yeah, there's a train, that's kind of neat. But you took a bus, right?
I took the long bus, not the short bus.
You didn't They didn't give you a helmet?
They didn't give you a helmet. I probably should have had a helmet. No, I took the bus. It was a Supreme. They called the Supreme bus, and which is first class style. It's extra large seats.
Okay.
Food, and but it also was 10.5 hours of on the road, bumping and riding around.
So, but I mean, you showed me some pictures, right? So it was almost pretty much like an international flight, meaning every seat had its own
TV,
yeah, and I assume, and so I was looking because you told me about it, so I looked on the website and everything, and they said they have Asian and Western movies. What was the selection like as far as that?
Yeah, so they pretty much had all Thai movies.
Okay,
but I didn't really go on to the little console. So yeah, it's just like flying on an airline. The seat in front of you, you have this TV that kind of retracts back and forth.
Okay.
And it's really cool. However, the seats lay pretty flat.
Okay.
So, you're there to sleep, it feels like.
Okay.
And nobody had the TV on. One person I saw, and then they had it flipped off. And I didn't turn it. I turned it on, checked it out, and I'm like, okay, it's all in Thai, and didn't even go from there.
Okay.
I just put on my headphones and
listen to the spot.
I did. I listened to the spot. Got it on my phone, and I'm listening to some jams from the 80s, because by the time I left in the morning, it was 80s. Because we do 80s
at 8. 80s at 8, actually.
So I listened to a little bit of 80s, a little 90s, and then, what was the music right in the afternoon? A little bit of everything. You have some...
We do a lot of dance, but obviously
no Phil Collins.
No Stu Studio either, and
sorry,
but
Phil
yeah,
Collins
I mean,
fans.
it's a lot of dance, or the Genesis. Patrick, how you doing, man? Good evening and morning to everyone as well. How are? Let's see. Remind me, you've been here now. Let's see. I want to say a week. I was going to check my calendar because I had. Oh, you know who showed up? Robbie is the guy who I was honored to consult for, who was in the wheelchair. He's got the. He's got, like T4, T5, quadriplegic. And it was funny, or not funny, it was interesting, because Gracie and I were down in Pattaya a few days ago, right? And so we're driving down Beach Road, and there's a guy there with what looked like probably an elder, 40s, 50s Filipina woman standing next to him, and this guy's in a wheelchair. And I remember that when we talked, he was looking for a caregiver, right? And you know, you could argue that a lot of those people that do that are Filipino. So I was like, I wonder if that's the guy. But yeah, so he came down here midweek, and I know that obviously Patrick's been, you know, traveling for sure. So that's cool, man. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Where's Patrick at now?
You know, that's a great question. I'll let him answer that, because I think if I were to guess, I would say Phuket, but I can't remember. We gratefully have a lot of people that watch us and update us on where they're going to be. Everyone's travel plans are different. Otherwise, we'd be doing, you know, some of our magic meetup, right? But it's like,
well, he's back in the States, so.
Oh, dude, and we miss seeing you. That's too bad. But thank you for coming by, man. It's always good to have the regulars here, not the least of which is Joe.
And next time you come, Patrick, Chaing Mai might be a place for you. It's actually a pretty awesome place. And that's kind of what we're talking about today a little bit.
Okay, so 10 hours, you're on this bus. And again, it's not, you know, I mean, you showed me pictures also, or at least I saw pictures on the website of the restroom. It looked pretty nice, right? I mean, it's clean. It's like an airplane restroom, right? It's
just
clean.
like an airplane, except it's very tough to go to the bathroom on a moving bus. And,
right, exactly.
So if you're into turbulence on an airplane, that's honestly what I kept thinking of is like, man, this is one rocky airplane ride. And yet I'm on a bus. So,
and you're on a bus, so therefore you're comfortable with it, right?
I hate flying, man.
I know. So do you think that this experience will now make it easier for you to tolerate turbulence in a plane because you felt it on a bus?
That was the first thing that went through my mind is like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's more dangerous to drive in a bus than flying. The thing is shaking like crazy, and I have these handles where you hold on to as I'm
Jesus handles.
as I am peeing all over the place. But however, they have a stand-up urinal, so that was cool.
That's good. Yeah, as opposed to a sit-down urinal.
They have both.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, they had both, and I think there was only a couple of us that ever used. I mean, the bus was, I don't know, maybe 25% full, 30%.
Wow. So hold on, you went on Wednesday morning, Thursday morning.
Yeah, Thursday
morning. Okay. And again, we're on peak season, right?
Yeah.
And all in, was it 950 baht?
Yeah. So about 950 baht per person each way. And it wasn't even full, and they leave on time. They don't wait for the bus to fill up. Right. Excellent. At 7:30, they were gone. We were gone. So, and they do it twice a day. So in the morning, and then also in the evening. So I chose the morning ride because I wanted to see the view and take a look at the countryside. And by the way, guys, I will have it on my channel, Walking My Shoes Thailand. I will be publishing that video pretty soon.
Nice,
about the bus. So
that's cool.
And my adventures here in Chaing Mai. So
I'm trying to remember the name of the company. Sombat. SOMBAT.
Yes, Sombat. That is correct. And they have their own station.
Their own, there. Yeah, that I know, right?
Very large station.
That's not free. I'm surprised they don't share it with, but good for them.
No, and it's a big station. They had several buses going to Chiang Rai, Chiang Mai, Phuket, a couple of places I don't recognize. Nothing going to Pattaya, nothing going to anything like that.
They just do the long distance deal, right?
Yeah, and and they had different levels of buses. So I wanted the first class experience. So I chose the most expensive ticket, I guess you can call it. And on the bus, typically you have 4 seats across, right? 2 on each side. This one had 1 and 2.
Yeah. Okay.
So you had tons of room. I mean, and the seats were huge. And it was a pretty clean bus. I mean, excuse me, as clean as it could be. I mean, it's a bus. What do you expect for a bus? So and it was nice. And there was like a stewardess person that would walk up and down, and she would bring water and blanket and little snacks, and it was kind of cool.
It's funny that they gave you a blanket because I mean, buses, right? Airplanes. And what is it? Movie theaters here. It's freezing cold, right? But what's funny is in the movie theaters is they give you a blanket. It's like, well, you wouldn't need to do this if you just turn the AC.
Yeah, exactly. And Patrick,
but it's freezing. The bus.
Yeah, it was freezing. And to answer Patrick's question, sorry about that, Mike.
No, I wanted to get to it. Yeah.
Is there a train? And yes, there is. And I'm actually taking the train back.
Okay, right.
So, and that will be on Wednesday, I think. So I'm only here a week. So I'll take the sleeper
ahead.
train.
So just out of curiosity, I mean, is it the main reason that you're doing this because you dislike flying, or are you just like, no, I just want the experience of other forms of travel?
I love that question because I wanted video content. I wanted to show you guys different means of travel. And yeah, I don't like flying, but by far and away, I'd rather do a 3-hour flight. You know, it's only 1 hour, but by the time airport and all that stuff, 3 hours rather than 15 hours taking the bus. So flying, I will be in the future, but this is for video content, show you guys the experience, how much it costs, all that kind of stuff. Good morning. Is that Dave right there? Digital Nomad? No, that's
Tom.
Tom.
Good to see you, buddy.
That's
Thanks a lot for coming by. I appreciate it. We also got Big Guys 45s. Which is awesome. I'm a huge fan of 45s. When's the last time I played one of those? My God, it must have been, I'm thinking maybe mid-90s was the last time. But it's been a while. That's pretty cool here. May come back later. If not, at least I just wanted to say hi very quickly. Hey. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you coming by. Yeah, it's good to have you guys along here. So a lot of these guys, right, they're going to come to Thailand. Many of them know the word Phuket. They know Bangkok, and they know, Pattaya, potentially. But many people also know Chiang Mai. So you went there, and you're like, I'm going to check out this. So I'm curious what you thought. Yeah. And then I'm also curious, once you got there and looked around, like, I didn't think about this, but I checked it out. So what'd you go there to see? And then what was sort of like, wow, this is neat. This is new.
So I came here, first of all, because I haven't been here, and I've heard so much about the digital nomad capital of the world and the coffee shop capital of the world. And we're talking cafes everywhere, and there really is a lot of them. Now, I am staying in Old Town, which is surrounded by a moat.
Okay, and a big,
which is pretty cool.
Fence.
And it has this wall right here, and which is 750 years old. And I thought that was cool. And I don't have a picture of the moat, but I do have a picture of a couple of temples I went to.
So naturally, when I think moat, I think drawbridge. Did they have a drawbridge?
No, but I was hoping they did.
Yeah.
They didn't have a drawbridge, but here's some pictures that I'm pretty much right next to at my
Seriously.
hotel.
So like you walk down the sidewalk. So wait, hold on. Don't you have a picture of your hotel? Let's take a look at that and then be like, okay, so you're literally like right behind that ivy right now.
I'm literally right here
on the right-hand side of that over there with the coffee shop there, right?
Yep.
So, so you literally like walk down that sidewalk, and how far is it before you get to this?
We're talking, I can look at the gate right now. I'm turning.
Dude.
I'm turning my head, and I'm looking at the red gate into.
That is awesome.
And there's one temple after another. So there's tons of these temples, and it's pretty cool. And, and in one of them, I got a chance to hang out with this guy right here.
There you go. What up, recliner? That is awesome, dude.
Kitty went to the floor and just sat there and looked at it. And she says, I want quietness. And we were the only ones viewing it.
Yeah.
And I will have this video also coming out. And it was pretty awesome. I had a total gratitude attack right there. So
I was going to say, right, you and I sort of share this. We share this disease, which is every time we see, it's just like, oh my God, another opportunity to be. I'm so freaking grateful. I'm over here, and then I could, afford rice, and this is like that's all I need, baby. That's all.
And these are the reasons why I come to Thailand is to have these attacks ongoing. Somebody who's from the Southern California area, I don't even care for the big city. And then I come here to Bangkok, and I'm like, what the heck?
Why do I like it so much? I know.
Why do I? Yeah. And I get asked that question all the time. What is it that brings you to Thailand so often? I mean, you got to pay. I mean, there is an expense, right? I mean, we talk about how inexpensive it is, but there is an expense.
Once you get here, yeah.
Right. And, and people ask me all the time, why do you keep going back and forth? Don't you love Pismo Beach or California? And I'm like, yeah, I love Pismo Beach. I do not like California that much. And, set aside political or any of that kind of stuff.
Sure.
It's just when I come to Thailand, it's that energy I get, from this, these temples and the nightlife. I mean, here's the nightlife right around my hotel. This will be Saturday night.
And that's pretty accurate, that photo? Like right now, this time of year?
Yeah, this is very recent. And this will hopefully be tonight, and I'll be videotaping it for you guys. But having that complete gratitude attack, and having the experience of Chiang Mai, but of Thailand. And that's what brings me here, is that energy I have that I haven't felt in California. I mean, except when I go to Yosemite, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
Yosemite is definitely the mountains and the hills.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And that's here in Chiang Mai. Maybe not like Yosemite, but there are mountains here in Thailand.
For sure. No, absolutely. And, you know, it's funny. I've been there, and I have never done the Grand Canyon because I've been to Vegas a bunch of times. And, of course, you know, one of the tours is like, go to Grand Canyon. And for some reason, I mean, again, it's probably just my bias, because once I found Southeast Asia, like, the United States was totally irrelevant, other than the fact that I was able to earn a great living. Thank you, United States, to be able to afford to live here. But I was just, you know, it was just, it's just a big hole in the ground, you know, which I know is a total, like, that's a gross, you know, miscalculation of the description. But it just doesn't interest me. You know, it just really doesn't interest me. Like, what's the one with the presidents? Rushmore?
Rushmore, and that's in South Dakota.
Do you have any desire to go see that?
I actually do. I actually have a plan, and we haven't talked about it. But when I'm back in California during the summer in the States, I will be van lifing it too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's the falls. Rapid City, I think it's called, up there in South Dakota.
Yeah.
And I'll go from there then to Idaho, and I'll be making a huge loop. And there's a thought, Mike's, that I haven't even shared with you, that I would go to the East Coast up there towards where you're going to be during the time
Boston.
when you're there. So there might be a chance where we might have a meetup and do a live stream from
My God,
Boston.
dude, that would be giant. Oh, do it from we'd do it from our backyard.
We'll do it from the backyard.
There's deer there, dude. I mean, that would be amazing. Okay,
It would
so
be
that's cool. Because
Yeah.
again, to talk about, you know, life in Thailand, right? One, like I was saying earlier, one could argue that, like, you know how it works here now. You got a bank account, you got a driver's license, you got a visa, you know how to do this, you know how to, you know what this means when you call a bot bus, and, you know, all these little things that you just learn along the way. And like you, I'm still learning too. We both are, right? Which is really neat.
Definitely.
But obviously, part of living over here, being a U.S. citizen, at least for me, and also for you because of your business, means I'm going to go back to the U.S. for various reasons. For me, it's my folks. For you, it's your business, right? And your son.
Yes.
So hold on. So January 25th through March 25th, you're back in the U.S.
Yes. The next
So
week,
then, and I know, right? It's just too soon kind of thing,
too
right?
soon.
But summer, right? You were planning on, because Gracie and I, after we go see our daughter graduate, because for some reason they graduate in the 10th grade and the 12th grade in the Philippines, because they love to have a party. That'll be in June, I guess. And then so July and August will be in the Boston area. So are you planning on being in the U.S. over the summer?
For part of it. So the plan is during the summer. So right now it's every 2 months I'm coming back and forth. Except for November. November will be, I can't see coming back minimum 3 months. November, December, January.
Right, that makes sense, yeah.
You know, which is, I love this place too much not to be here.
Copy that.
And then I would go back to the States for 2 months, come back for Songkran, and then the hot season, right? Songkran, yeah.
Songkran.
So April, May, fly back for June and July.
Okay, got it.
And back to the States, and then come back again for September. I think that's what I did last year.
Okay, that makes sense.
Back
to me,
after 1 month, and then back again. Yeah, and I'm not going to do that forever. That's going to be for the next probably year or two, depending on the spot. And then my business at home. Yeah. So speaking of the spot, let's do this little quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, look at that amazing logo. Jesus, it's just so friggin' rad.
So be sure to tune in to the spot.fm. And Mike, you have some little sound stuff we could share. Let's do it.
We absolutely have some cool sound stuff that I definitely want to share with you guys, because of course it makes, you know, as you guys know, my ego is fragile.
This is the Spot. The Spot.
It really whips the llama's ass.
Dude, I just love that part, man.
He's got
such
an amazing voice, right? Doesn't it?
The Spot.fm.
Yeah, he's my hero. He's definitely one of my good buddies, and he does that for like almost free for us. So thank you, David Lee.
The crying llama at the end is freaking epic, man. That's cool.
And we're expanding. As you guys know, we're also live right now on Spot, thespot.fm, bkk.fm up here in Bangkok, but of course on the internet, so everywhere in the world. And youtube.com/@the-spot Thailand, youtube.com/@wims media, WIMS media. And then, of course, youtube.com/@live my ass off. You can always check us out. We're also on our Facebook page, which is, don't forget all of our socials. The Spot Thailand is what you're going to want to look for. And we're hanging out there. Thespot.fm, if you go there, ladies and gentlemen, you too can be wearing a sexy ass shirt just like we are right now. And now I know it pops up, right? The little thing if I move my mouse off. But what's the direct link to our shirts?
Well, you got to go to the website, thespot.fm. You have a pop-up. You just push that button.
So if it doesn't pop up.
If you're on the website, you can scroll down and you'll find a button that says reserve yours now. And you'll see our model.
Awesome.
Modeling it, Mr. Robert Mack from Robert Mack Media.
Okay, so there we go. Spot.fm/store-swag. Let me throw that in the chat. So guys have no excuse but to go there and judge us. And so, yeah,
we're in
absolutely.
Thailand. Who doesn't judge? Hey, Patrick, real quick, I'll have videos coming out of my complete trip of Chaing Mai, from the bus ride to the hotels to several of the temples and wats here. So, yeah, it's coming out. Give it a couple of days, and we'll get some going for you.
Couple days. Okay, cool. MetTech, good to see you, buddy. Glad you came by. Big hugs and high five to you. I know you're coming by soon. That's totally awesome. Rushmore, really cool, but things tend to lose a certain amount of coolness when you rather be in Thailand. Indeed, yeah. Dude. I mean, I could be, if I'm somewhere that I don't particularly like, then it's like, nothing's awesome.
But isn't that the truth, though? I mean, America and United States, I mean, people die to go there. I mean, they're like, I got to go to America. I have to go. I got to visit. And then I'm thinking, gosh, I'm ready to go. Let's go to Thailand.
Okay. Now, to be fair, though, dude, I mean, when you first moved to, I'll just speak for myself. When I first moved to San Diego, certainly from the perspective of basically growing up in the Boston area, San Diego was freaking amazing. I mean, it was just like, oh my God. I mean, a lot of people, I mean, they've done California, I mean, California's giant, right? But I mean, that's the thing too. People are like, oh, I really want to go to America. So for example, right, the new friend that we were talking earlier in the week, she's like, oh yeah, I really want to go to America, right? And it's like, okay, we're like, hey, where do you want to go? And what was her response? You remember? Chicago. And it's like, and we're like, why do you want to go? Now, for her, it was an emotional attachment, right? She's like, oh, there was this guy I used to be in love with, and we're not together anymore or whatever, but he was from Chicago.
I remember that now.
Yeah. And so it was like, okay, I get that. Kitty, because of, whatever she's seen on TV, she wants to go to Disneyland, which is a complete shithole. And Anaheim is gross.
From the guy who's from there, right?
And it's, and, but again, so San Diego is significantly different. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, is that near Los Angeles? They're like, I want to go to Los Angeles. And I'm like, I think I know what you mean. You want to go to Hollywood. And no one except the people who live in California know that there's a West Hollywood, which is a dump.
Well, let me ask you, how old were you when you came to California? When you came to San Diego?
Yeah, so I was 20.
Enough said. That's
drove,
it, man.
Drove cross country. And
with the hottest girls in the world. I mean, we're talking San Diego.
They were pretty attractive. And then I went to the University of Arizona.
Sorry.
They breed them there. It is amazing. I don't know why, but this is like 80% of all the girls I saw were just gorgeous, right? Now, again, when I was at San Diego State University, they didn't have a lack either. But, and again, I'm 20. I had my first legal drink in San Diego. I
like the way you said that. Your first legal.
Yeah. Well,
drinking.
I mean, okay, actually that's false because the drinking age in Vermont when I was 18 was 18. So, okay. So let me just clarify. But the point is that trust me, just because I was not in Vermont didn't mean I didn't drink.
Yeah.
But it was, it was a great place to basically grow up. I mean, I was halfway through my bachelor's and finished that up there. But yeah, I mean, and again, dude, like 10 years before I started coming here, I had buddies. My buddy Eddie, he's one of the reasons I came. And he's like, oh my God, you got to go to Thailand, got to go to Thailand, got to go to Thailand. And like you were saying, not just the cost of the plane, but I was like, oh my God, dude, it's like a 24-hour, plane ride kind of thing when you add it all up.
Yeah.
And I said, I just didn't want to do it. And then when I finally came, then it was like, oh my God, but a year prior, San Diego was still pretty awesome until it wasn't. And so I
here's
get
a
that.
comment. Here we go. Everywhere is great when visiting on holiday. I mean, I somewhat agree with that for sure, especially Thailand. And for myself, when I came in 2019, I was a single, recently divorced dude.
Yeah.
Thailand was freaking heaven. I mean, we're talking better than the candy store. I know I've used that phrase before, but
It is.
I mean, I don't care what anybody thinks. Judge all y'all want, but I come to Thailand, and the amount of good-looking gals, the amount of food, the amount of everything,
Literally everything.
at a price that was like, I would have paid triple that easily, more. I mean, I would have found a way, rob, beg, and steal, right? I mean, of course, I don't want to rob, beg, or steal, but to have that experience I had here in 2019 and to see it come back from the situation here in 2023, it's pretty cool.
It's interesting. When you said 3 times, I'm trying to think, because I came here and, people like, how long were you there before you decided you want to live there? And of course, if I say 45 minutes, people think I'm joking. It was very
Wheels
accurate.
touch the ground.
So once I got through immigration and I got to the hotel, so 45 minutes after I basically checked into the JW there on Sukhumvit, and I walked into Soi 4, I was like, 45 minutes. I was like, okay, I heard the word retirement visa, which again, at the time, there weren't a lot of YouTube channels. There was like 4 guys. And so there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, there was this constant chatter about visas over the last, 10 years. But anyway, I was like, this is great. And then I started like looking at the price of stuff. So I met this girl and we went to have street food. And the cheesy little metal like folding, hey, what's going on? That's awesome. Was she upstairs earlier?
Sorry, Kitty
Hello,
just
cop.
came on, guys. Mike will come right back to you. So
Good.
Kitty is in her beautiful Chaing Mai style dress.
Very nice.
So there it is right here. Traditional dress, guys. So good morning to Miss Kitty. So there she goes.
Cop. That's so cool, dude.
Okay. Sorry about that, Mike. She just came on and she's like, whoa, it's beautiful morning, and we'll talk about that. But I want to hear what you got to say. I want you to finish what you were saying.
It's so around the cost, right? Because again, so we went somewhere and we had soup, and it was like a couple dollars, right? And it was right there on the street on Sukhumvit. And then I went down to Pattaya and I was there for like 2 to 3 weeks. And I mean, again, things were so cheap. Like I had one hotel right on the beach, on Beach Road in Pattaya. And then for some reason, I guess because it was so cheap, I also was renting a condo like past Second Road, past the avenue that if you go past, it kind of like sneaks into Bukau. So I had like 2 places, and I did the same thing when I went to Phuket. It was like I got 2 places. It was bizarre. And so I guess definitely if things were like twice the price, I would be like, whatever. And to be fair, like in the last 10 years, things have absolutely gone up in price.
Yeah.
But 3 times, 4 times. Yeah, I think I would have, because at the end of the day, when I was on vacation, and I think to Gogo Hopping's point, is I was spending in U.S. dollars. My mind was using U.S. dollars when I was buying things. And I think I told you the silly, scenario of when I had to use the restroom and I went into this place and like I had just gone to the ATM and I'm like, and it was like, 10, 20 baht for the restroom. And I just like gave the girl 1,000 baht. And I'm like, no, here you go. Because she's like, we don't have change. I'm like, don't worry about it. She just looks at me like, you just gave me 1,000 baht to use the restroom. I'm like, I really needed to use the restroom, but it didn't. It was like, it's play money, right? It's this like colored piece of paper.
It looks like play money. Let's be real.
Yeah.
It looks like Filipino money too.
Don't even really, exactly, same. I mean, it's got all these cute little colors in it or whatever.
Cute little characters.
Yeah, pretty awesome, King. Good to that's awesome, Doug. When you're here, please message us. I don't know where you'll be, whether it's Bangkok or not, but it'd be great to get together. Joe, oh my God, it was so waiting for you to come by. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it. So that was just sort of my deal on the shirts look great. Glad you guys went for the polo style shipping to the U.S. So thank you. I agree. I'm not a t-shirt guy, so that's kind of one of the reasons. But yeah, Robbie, why don't you talk about like how we're going to get those to people in the U.S. because you're going to physically be there with the shirts.
Yeah. So we won't start shipping until kind of like the first 2 weeks of February. And it'll be shipping out of the U.S. It'll be these shirts you're seeing here with the polo and the logos and all that cool stuff. We will be bringing on board shirts without the collars, so they'll be t-shirt style, but the collars look great. This is our first run of shirts, so first come, first serve, and we'll order more as needed. So it does take time to get them made up, but I do have a bunch made up, and I will be shipping them out.
You gonna make some more before you cruise home?
They're going to be on order, and then I'll have you pick them up or something. Depends if they can get done in time.
Okay, cool. So you're going to bring all of the shirts back to the U.S., and then I'll just
Yeah.
get the new ones here. Perfect. All right, that's going to work out great. This is how we have business meetings, guys. We basically, we get our SM58s all riled up, and we do it for sure. Joe, sorry to hear that you have COVID for the 4th time. What the hell kind of an overachiever are you, my friend? I hope you're not feeling horrible. I know that Robbie, you got a little bit of cough, but you've probably felt like you've had COVID a couple times, right?
Felt like I had COVID. The doctor says, well, you tested negative, but doesn't mean you didn't have it.
Right.
Yeah, because I've been coughing up a lung, and at the same time, Kitty had been sick. So
that's right.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. She had and Mike, you're going to say it better than I will, but I'll say it first. Dengue fever.
Dengue. No, you said it correctly.
I said it right? Wow.
You absolutely said it correctly.
Robbie the Butcher.
On the spot. Robbie the Butcher. On the spot.
Dude, we need to have the llama do its voice.
You think we need to? We could totally rock the llama if you need it.
The spot.
It really whips the llama's ass.
Just that.
That's the sound they make.
Thing. I could probably record that. Anyways, guys. So yeah, I've been sick. Kitty had dengue fever, and you saw her just a couple of minutes ago, and she's looking great and feeling pretty good and sleeping. So I would say she's almost 100%, but not quite. I mean,
did she tell you whether she's had it before or not? Dengue?
She's never had it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was very odd the way you were describing. I mean, you were saying, just excruciating pain.
Yes.
Probably the person closest to me that's had it would be Rob. 20 Seconds in Thailand Rob. He's the one that I probably know the best that's had it. I've had a number of cursory, relationships with guys and folks that have had it before. And they report that it's very,
and
very
she was
painful.
crying, guys. I mean, literally in tears. And man, broke my heart because she's trying to hold it back and just couldn't, just like begging for help because her body was just aching and sore, just, excuse me, that cough, guys. And she had a fever and just, all sorts of stuff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So she had the fever. She's had some respiratory issues. She's had, and we thought she had COVID, but then again, with her body aching the way it was.
Yeah, the aching, yeah.
We kind of realized she didn't. We kind of realized it was the fever. I mean, we looked it up. That we went to the hospital 3 times. So
yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about Chaing Mai for sure, but let's talk a little bit about your hospital experience. And if you guys hadn't seen it, so Joe put his link to his channel there, OGR, which is Old Guys Rule. He's got some shorts up there. Definitely check out his channel. You can click directly on the link if you're watching.
Cool.
And yeah, indeed, I know these friggin' mosquitoes. And what's funny is, Chasing, is the fact that I was like, okay, wait a second. You guys were in Pattaya, and then when she was feeling lousy, she's up here in Bangkok. Like, there's not a lot of standing water where these friggin' mosquitoes could tip it, but it's just luck of the draw kind of thing. It's just like a crapshoot. It's like so
yeah,
really
I can
sad.
only think of maybe we were at a cafe that had koi ponds or whatnot.
Oh, okay, fair
we
enough.
did go to a lot of cafes that had those.
Right.
It's not like we were on a hike somewhere and there's standing water and it's warm.
Sure.
I mean, it's been cool. We've been at the beach a lot.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So
it's
she must have picked it up from somewhere, and it was gnarly. It was really something. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get vaccinated or shots or something. I don't know.
So what about, and I guess you can get a shot for dengue after. I mean, again, at the end of the day, apparently you just need to suck it up and live through it, which of course is horrible medical advice, but that's, kind of like what happens. But to the point of getting treatment, you went to a Thai private hospital. It wasn't a Thai government hospital, right? But you went to a Thai private hospital, and then you went to a Western Thai hospital. Tell us a little bit about those experiences, and also each one, that you went to. And while you do it, I'm going to get a cup of coffee.
Great. Yeah. So guys, and you can definitely check out, I have a full video on my hospital experience. Go to Walking My Shoes Thailand YouTube, check out the video. And I know the doctors let me video in there and all that kind of stuff. So it was really cool. So our first time, I'm like, Kitty, do you need to go to the hospital? She says, yes. And okay, we end up going to a Thai private hospital. And she chose this one because it was going to save money. And she gets checked. We do the whole wait. While in the hospital, it's pretty interesting because it was packed full of Thai people. And there are gurneys, people wheeling people around. It was really something out of a movie. And we saw the doctor, maybe 2 minutes, give us some cough drops, and we're on our way. They didn't diagnose dengue fever at all. It was just, oh, you're sick. Go home, treat it with this. There you go. Now, we had walked previous going to that hospital to the clinic around the corner from where we're staying. They're in Bangkok. And the clinic person, she said, and she looked at Kitty and she said, there you go. The woman said, hey, I think you guys have dengue fever. I think you have dengue fever. And so, of course, Kitty's feeling miserable. We didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was. I had no idea. And so we ended up going to a regular hospital. And basically, I just stepped my foot down and said, hey, money is not the issue here. Let's just go get this treated. Let's go to a real hospital. I know the international hospitals are really nice here in Bangkok. So turned on my camera and we're going, and I'm feeling like I have COVID, can't breathe. So we're both going now. And walk into the hospital. They take our IDs and we sit there for maybe 2 minutes. Kitty gets seen. I get seen. During my experience, I get a chest x-ray within 2 minutes, a diagnosis, meet the hospital, meet the staff. They check the x-rays. They actually send it off to my doctor here in the States. And Kitty gets seen. They say, yeah, you have dengue fever. They take some blood. They do all that stuff. They tell her to come back in a couple of days, but they give her medication and tell her what to do. And, of course, they give me an inhaler. They give me some antibiotics. They test us for COVID, the whole thing, all this stuff at this international hospital. And you guys, Kitty was saying, oh, I don't want to spend a lot of money. Both those appointments for myself and Kitty at the international hospital was 3,300 baht. We're talking
for 2 people.
$110 for 2 people with chest x-rays. And a follow-up appointment. And we spent 1,600 baht just for her at the other hospital, just to have her, give her some cough drops and tell you, there you go. Anyways, guys, you can check all that out in my video, Walking My Shoes Thailand. Definitely check it out. It's pretty cool. I actually like the video. It did get flagged from YouTube, so because I use the word COVID or I say whatever in it, so my view count is really low.
Do they tell you why?
They don't tell you why, but I was going back investigating why is this video getting 0 hits.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that a lot of people stopped using that word, and they're using the situation, or they're calling it something different. I don't know if that's the reason why, but that's all I thought that was.
That was a while ago because, of course, all the fake news that came out of that. But anyway.
Yeah, so I guess I'm assuming that, but my view count is so low on that. And I've changed out the description, the keywords, everything, and it's still getting hit. But you guys go check it out. I'm not going to delete it. It's up there. It's a good video.
For sure.
So, Mike, welcome back.
Thank you so much. I got my 3-in-1, Makona Gold. No big whoop.
Nice.
1027, dude. That's brutal. Now, what was Kitty's temperature? You probably said it while I was gone. I apologize, but what was Kitty's temperature?
Kitty's temperature was hovering at 97.9, 98, or excuse me, 30. 37.9.
37. Okay, so that's not, again, 38, that's, 100. But
right.
Joe, he's at like 39. Bro, that is, That's high. I mean, until you get like to 104, you're not going to have any serious brain damage. But oh man, I feel for you, Joe. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Thank you for coming by, for God's sake. When you're not feeling good. Thank you. It's good to have you at the cool kids table.
Dude, Joe's
thank you very
been
much.
giving me smoothie money. Thank you, Joe.
Oh, dude, he's so rad. Rumpy, thank you. I also want to say I agree. The audio was not great, and that's because of the couple of the remotes we're doing, mainly because of the internet that we thought was good. We really wanted to patronize Starbucks down the street from our condo here in Bangkok, but unfortunately it didn't work. So we tried, and this is the thing is that we don't have this like professional studio yet because I know how to make one of those, but
it's coming, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, and I will tell you this too. Also, thank you for listening. But in the future, please make sure that you're more than welcome to tell us when it's lousy, because I can do my best to try and fix it. Depending upon where we are. But I guess Robbie's going to grab a cool and refreshing beverage. Worried about dengue when going to the jungle area. Now I have to worry about. I don't know. I don't know if you have to worry about it everywhere. I will tell you that when I first came over here, like I went to Kaiser and I got all my shots. Right, so I got shots for like Hep A, Hep B, which is kind of like if you drink contaminated water or you eat like street food that could be gross or whatever. But I mean, honestly, any of the places you're going to be over here, I would submit to you that you're not going to have an issue.
No,
there's going to be, I mean, it's rare. But I mean, at the end of the day, you could always get it, right? Like, I mean, you can get the flu shot and still get the flu. You can get, so
you get COVID, right? I mean, I believe Joe is triple vaxxed. And he got COVID again. And I triple vaxxed, and I've had COVID 3 times.
Well, again, and that's the thing. The vaccine, I mean, all it does is allow you to have, ideally, a less experience, right? It allows you to just not be in as much pain, maybe.
And that's what the Thai doctor told me, because I showed him my vaccine record. And
he's like, well,
very happy you got it. It doesn't mean you won't get it again. It just means you're not going to have the symptoms as strong. And by the way, the Thai doctors here speak great English. I mean, perfect.
In the private hospitals, right?
Yeah. It was perfect.
That's very true. I would say, so Sukhumvit Hospital is the place where I went, right?
And that's where I ended up going, right?
Yeah, you were down there. It's on Chaing Mai, near Chaing Mai, if you guys don't know.
MedTech. Did you see this comment? He goes, I'm unemployable.
Yeah, he's unemployable. That's why he's
buddy.
self-employed. Yeah, that's what people used to say. What do you do? I'm a consultant, and they would used to be like, so you're unemployable, huh? And I'm like, yeah, kind of at the time.
I'm self-employed. Come on.
Yeah, working for a boss. I will say one of the things about being self-employed or basically owning a business that was the reason I stopped doing that and then started working at the university was that I really missed having a team of peers. Because when you own a business, your only peers traditionally are other business owners outside of your business.
Yeah.
And it was really nice having a team where we were both, and that's kind of one of the frustrations, right? I was talking about our friend Brian, and he was really frustrated because one of his employees, right, that he like basically gave this ability to make decisions and that sort of thing, he the guy wasn't making the decisions that he would make. And he even said, well, yeah, because he's not the business owner. So it's not his money that he's spending, right? And it's really, it's tough. It's lonely at the top. Have you had it before, Christy? I see your comment there. Dengue fever is no joke. Because she's traveled before, yeah?
Well, she was like a nurse, so she's experienced people with it. I don't know if she's had it, but I know that because I've talked to Christy's been a really good help researching. That girl can research the heck out of it. You tell her what you want, she'll get online like right there. But I know she did some nursing or worked in that field,
medical
field. So she's experienced kind of these illnesses and really gave me a lot of feedback on what to do. And, I mean, I don't want to say this, but it's kind of like the mom, right? She goes, drink lots of water.
No, rest in liquids, dude. I mean, it's just ridiculous, like how effective that is. And
totally.
I will say, though, as far as modern medicine goes, I think Tylenol is one of the best things that was ever invented because for me, it's always getting rid of pain and it always, brings my fever down. But
do not take ibuprofen if you have dengue.
Copy that, dude. That is an important safety tip. No.
Yeah, the bleeding is something else. But you know what? We're over it. We're over being sick, and we're here in beautiful Chiang Mai, broadcasting to you guys live from Chiang Mai. This beautiful area. I'm gonna lift up the computer. So there
Ta-da.
you go.
Show us a picture where you're at, actually, because I think we need to talk about the hotel that you're at as well as the area again, and remind people about how gorgeous it is.
So there it is, beautiful. This is what you will find online if you come to this hotel. Parasol.
Okay.
So, and I'm paying 1,000 baht a night here, 1,050 or something like that.
Sure.
And not all that's cracked up to be, guys, and we'll be able to explain that here. But it's beautiful on the outside. We're within walking distance of this temple right here, which is just down the street from me, which is awesome. And I will have videos about the hotel, videos about those temples, all that stuff coming up. It is in the GoPro in the data. But yeah, that was the hotel, and I'm sitting at the restaurant adjacent right below it, and it's been awesome service. And the guy,
that's one of the things
that
you mentioned was,
as a matter of fact, he's bringing me coffee again. I love it.
Yeah. Well, and you and I were talking about that, off camera, basically a little bit about the fact that, it's an imperfect, physical plant, basically. I mean, and Gracie and I had that experience when we were staying where we're staying, but man, were the people nice. I mean, the person checking us in, the person bringing us coffee, basically, the staff that are like sweeping the floors. It's rare that I have a bad experience with staff that are working at a place, and so therefore it just kind of it comes down to competition between how well they're taking care of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
it's 1,000 baht to stay here. So what are we talking? $30?
I don't even. That's a good question because it's down. It's like 33 to 1 now.
Yeah. So back to normal. I like to say.
Yeah, kind of. Yes, that's like $30 basically, $30.50.
So I'm paying $30 a night here in Chaing Mai. I did make a pretty crucial mistake, in which we'll talk about that. But the place here, I'll give the pros first, and we'll do some cons, and back to a pro. So the pros here is really the staff is friendly. They're very nice, and they helped me out. And I'm right next to these temples. I mean, how cool is that?
Right, totally.
I mean, right next to it. And again, I'll show that on a video coming up here. So that is really the pros of this place. And we're by a restaurant where I get this nice hot cup of coffee.
What else do they? So did they have like the whole like English breakfast thing, or are they just is pretty much Thai food?
I haven't done the English breakfast here at all, honestly. So I can't say about that. I did eat here last night. We had Thai food and got to meet up with a couple of expats and talk to them about living your best life here. And they're from South Carolina. And I don't remember the guy's name. Matter of fact, I don't know if I ever got it, but we talked for probably half hour, 45 minutes. And they're here to see the elephants and all that kind of cool stuff. Okay. So people are just super friendly, and they sell beer here and all that stuff. So it was a good experience. So the pros are the location. Mm-hmm. And when I booked it on Agoda, I booked it because of price and because of the location was walking distance to everything. And I like to walk, guys.
Everything. Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah,
right.
I'm a 10,000 plus step a day, and probably yesterday, probably 20,000. I don't know. I don't have one of those little watch gizmos. Excuse me. So it was really awesome walking around. So the con is a couple of things. And I've learned this, and I knew better, is I booked all 5 nights the first time I did my booking. I do not recommend that.
No,
and I'm going against
book one.
Book one.
Yeah.
There's always availability here in Thailand. Always.
Totally.
I mean, and the rates here are different than America. They kind of go down the closer you come to the day, I found. I mean, Mike, have you found that? I mean,
it's amazing. And again, we got to remember today is January 14th. Okay, so it is peak season, as one would define it here. One could argue mid-December through mid-January, but it's so bizarre, like right after New Year's. I mean, the population just seems to go down. The price that you pay New Year's Eve for a hotel and the price that you pay on January 2nd is such an enormous delta. But Robbie right now, quite frankly, is back in how normal pricing is in Thailand, which is, it is so easy to find a place for basically 1,000 baht a night. If you guys were to look at Airbnb and you were to look down on Sukhumvit Road, the one bedroom condos that you can get for a night, they all compete within like $1. It's like 1,100 baht, 1,000 baht, 999 baht.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just, and so it is so easy to do that. But I think to your point,
spend that extra dollar because
but also like you said, I mean, one night, maybe two, if like you're getting in the middle of the night and you're not going to have an experience.
So let me give you a couple of cons here. So not only, and the reason why booking the 5 nights was the mistake is one night at this place is enough.
Got it.
And I say that the bed was super comfortable, by the way. It was one of the best night's sleep I've had in Thailand, period. It was
that's
soft,
a big plus.
It was American style.
Yeah.
Pillows were great. But the room itself was 20 square meters. So it's really small. No closet. No windows. So it's like jail. So I mean, not that I've been to jail. I've visited a jail.
I've visited, yeah, me too. But no windows. I mean, they usually that's pretty obvious, right? I mean, they stated that. Usually they'll say like balcony.
They did state that, and I didn't think about it. I'm like looking at the price, looking at the location, going, "Wow, I'm getting a great deal. I'm going to book 5 nights." To find out that the hotel next to us is the same price and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
there's zero amenities. Like they have the restaurant down below. You know, you buy your own breakfast, which is fine. It's cheap here, so I don't mind that.
Totally. I never roll it into the price. It's way too expensive.
Yeah, it's way too expensive. But the room is small. I mean, the Thai style shower, it's nice. I like that.
Cold water?
No, it has the hot water, but it has a little deal up top.
Yeah.
Which I actually like that, where you turn on your own heat and boom, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, because the point
water.
of use is there. I mean, but is it like separated? Does the toilet get wet? Sink gets wet? Floor gets wet?
Yeah,
everywhere?
the floor gets wet.
I hate that. Yeah, that seriously. I mean, they're pet peeves for me, dude. And like wet floor in the bathroom.
Lay out some towels, man.
Totally. Put a friggin' railing, like basically a moat, a la Chaing Mai.
It's the 0 windows that really got to us, and it's pretty sterile. Meaning you walk down the hallways, it's white hallways. I'm on the 3rd floor, no elevator, fine, whatever. Thank goodness it wasn't any higher. Right? The building's not big. So,
no elevator, yeah.
Yeah, and then me, I've backpacked a lot around the world. Backpack, South America, Europe, here in Asia even. And I backpacked. I'm not worried about where I stay at so much. Now, Kitty from Thailand, her first impression was like, where are we? Why didn't we book?
See, now that's interesting because you described to me where she lived for basically a decade over here on Sukhumvit 101, which I would assume didn't have a window. You described it as a jail cell.
Yeah. Because she did have a balcony.
She had a balcony, okay.
Right, but the balcony had the iron covering over it.
Yeah.
And so it was dark and dingy and scary almost. I was like, are we going to get mugged?
She had a bathroom. Did she have hot water?
No. Oh, no, she didn't. Kitty did not have hot water.
Yeah.
So, but you know what, guys? I'm not saying that, hey, don't come to this hotel. I'm saying you have to be prepared. And the fact that 1,000 baht here, you can spend an extra $10. I'm going to get a swimming pool. Me just trying to be, I guess, a cheap Charlie, but maybe. Location and, a cheap Charlie, somebody doesn't want to spend money. I'm thinking, you know what? This is right next to the temples I want to visit. I'm going to stay. I don't have a problem with no windows as much as Kitty did.
It bugs me too. I mean, I need photons. I'm very photon driven. Yeah.
Love it.
It's helpful. Yeah, for sure.
It. So here we go. 20,000 steps before you woke up. Nice.
Yeah, you like that one? I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, and that's Roger.
Well, yeah, giving him that. Totally, yeah.
Dude, that's a lot of steps. I mean,
20? Yeah.
Maybe he's just dreaming those steps. Roger, come on. 20,000. How many miles is that? That's 6?
20,000 steps is if you figure a step for you and I is approximately a meter, that's probably about 17 kilometers. And so, yeah, I would say it's probably about 5-6 miles. Maybe 8.
That's a pretty good little walk.
Mm-hmm.
But I did know Roger. He walked quite a bit. So,
right. It's interesting. One of the things that I do is for Agoda and Booking.com, same company basically, but I use Agoda, and the reviews are usually fairly accurate, and so it's interesting because I'm on the site now and I'm looking at their place, and yeah, you're right. I mean, they are excellent photographers,
photographers,
and not necessarily good hoteliers, but one has to think about the fact that. So let me ask you this, because we've both been down in Pattaya right now that it's like after COVID, right? So, and there are some places that are kind of like back to normal, but there's still some places that certainly I've stayed, probably you too, and you're like, oh, well, they're still kind of recovering, right? And they need a coat of paint, they need to like really bleach kind of stuff. Is that sort of the case with this place? I mean, do you think like basically 6 months from now, after they generate some revenue and are able to improve the place?
Unfortunately, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think this is the way it is. I think it looks like it's actually been freshly painted.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't, I think it's just the way it is. And it's Old Town. So when I used to go to San Francisco, the Bay Area, with my kid, we used to go there on the weekends a lot. Like almost every weekend, we'd go up to San Francisco because I love San Francisco, the energy.
Okay.
Except it's dirty and it smells, but
it's expensive.
That's a whole nother video.
Very expensive.
Yeah, and you know what? I was younger and I didn't worry about money then, so it was a whole different lifestyle I lived while in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I mean, baseball games, fancy dinners, hotels. I mean, it was pretty cool. But if you stayed at a lot of those hotels down in San Francisco, down in older areas, I think
like
the Golden
Market
Gate
Street.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
good.
Well,
Golden
Market
Gate
Street's a lot of new fun stuff, but the Golden Gate hotels where I would stay at, I'll tell you, the most charming, awesome hotel in the world. I mean, it has cats. I mean, I know it sounds goofy, but cats floating around this hotel, and I'm thinking, what the heck?
This is in San Francisco.
In San Francisco. Yeah. And it's old school elevator, I mean,
oh yeah, with the gate.
It's just the ambiance of it, and man, it was really cool. So I'm thinking, hey, it's going to be like that here, but I'm wrong. But it's okay. It's still this hotel has a charming feature about it. It's polite staff, really is nice.
That's important.
And that to me, that's worth a lot.
Yeah,
when I owned a restaurant, I had a couple of restaurants I worked for, and I owned. The one thing I take pride in is the staffing, because my food sucked. Sorry, guys. If we had Yelp back in the 90s, I would have been out of business.
You would have been bankrupt.
I would have been bankrupt.
So,
but staffing is super important. And one thing about Thailand, and Mike's, I know you can say, anybody who's visited Thailand, man, the people here are, I mean, gratitude attack right now. The people here are amazing.
No, for sure. I think they're arguably some of the nicest people on the planet, especially the further north you go. So I would argue that you're in a pretty good spot.
Well,
now, one of the things I mentioned, right, is that, again, in your mind, you're spending U.S. dollars. In our minds, I'll speak for myself. In my mind, I'm spending baht. I spend baht when I'm over here now, and for the most part, I live in Thailand, and probably
you do. This is your home.
And so when I used to travel, couple things. One is that I would have no problem just blowing off the hotel. I'd be like, dude, whatever, it's 5,000 baht. And I literally would go next door and I would get a room. I'd walk in and I'd get it, or I'd get it.
We're probably going to do that, by the way.
But I will say that one of the things that I remember reading in a lot of the negative reviews, right, especially when the hotel is like, okay, that's a completely false statement that you're making about our establishment. And of course, the review stays there forever. So I can appreciate being a business owner and having someone lie about your company. But have you gone to the front desk and be like, look, I just don't like my room. Can you guys upgrade me? Because what's an upgrade going to cost? A couple $100 baht a night to your $10 point. I'm curious. Have you tried that? Or is it just sold out right now?
It's sold out. So all they had left were these same rooms. Now, when you go online, you look at some of the rooms, you'll see some nice rooms. So some corner units that have windows, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty much what I wanted. But again, guys, this is on me. It isn't on the hotel, because it said no window. Yeah, and that's really the big downfall. No window. It says 20 square meters. It is all of that, 20 square meters. So for someone like myself, hey, the bed's comfortable. I love it.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
the
not
bed
nothing.
is comfortable. I can tell you that. But for taking Kitty with me, tough sleeping. I think it's reminding of her where she used to live, right?
Is that the deal? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was asked last night, I was talking with a Falong, and he was asking me, how do I stay here? And he's probably about 48, 49, I don't know, 50 years old guy with his wife. And he's like, what do you do
But
for a
that's
living?
important, meaning is he 50 or not because of the retirement visa, right?
Well, and he's asking me, how are you staying here? What do you do for a living? I mean, and I pretty much told him, well, I'm a digital media creator, and meaning I do websites, videos, and I have this awesome digital radio station called the SPOT.FM.
Hey.
Woohoo. And then he would go on to ask me, because he's here just on holiday for 2 weeks with his wife, and in 2 weeks they've gone to Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, and they're going to Vietnam and then back home. And I'm like, man,
in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks,
Yeah,
right? They're going to Hanoi.
A lot of
Or
plane.
Ho Chi Minh, excuse me. But he asked me straight out, Chiang Mai or Bangkok?
Oh,
That's what he asked me.
okay.
And now
So
that
it was-
I've been here, and I told him, I said, look, this is only my first day, dude. I mean, or my second day.
Sure.
And, but I got a good feel for Chiang Mai. I mean, so I'm asked, could I live here in Chiang Mai? And the answer is, I could live here in Chiang Mai, but I still choose to be in Bangkok.
Totally.
I mean, the prices here, I think, are cheaper or less expensive than Bangkok. Food definitely
Bangkok
is.
and Phuket, expensive, yep.
And excuse me. And the food quality here has been amazing. I mean, I haven't had any complaints of the food here yet. Last night I got to go to the night market or night bazaar, they call it, and it's pretty cool. I did shoot a video. Pretty cool stuff. But I just love the energy. And I told him this, man, whatever Bangkok has done to me, I mean, there's this old saying, Bangkok has you. Right? I mean, I come from that movie Hangover 2. Bangkok has you.
Well,
and I'm not
that was
doing
a
that
different
crazy.
reference, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And don't get me wrong, guys. In 2019, I experienced Pattaya has you, if you know what I mean. But living in Bangkok or being in Bangkok, that energy you get, that feeling you get of being alive, and it's just like, I feel like I'm just one. I like this tiny little dot. I mean, good example is Mike's and I are on the SkyTrain. So the SkyTrain is like a subway or whatnot, but it's kind of on these rails up above the air, and it is packed. And we are crushed in this train. And Mike's, I remember telling you this. I'm like, dude, this is weird. I'm the tallest one on here except for you.
Right, you look over everyone's got black hair. Yeah,
Everybody's got black hair. Everybody's got their mask on, except for me, the dimwit me. Everybody's got a mask on, and they're doing their business. And here I am towering over. And I'm on 5'10", man. And
You're 5'10". Okay.
Yeah, pushing 5'10" is what I tell people.
Wow.
And I'm towering over everybody, and I'm thinking, man, this energy on this train, as it's crammed like sardines, everybody getting off, getting on, getting off, getting on. Man, what an awesome gratitude I have. And it happens all the time here in Bangkok. And I love Bangkok, guys. So, and I told him that story. He was, man, just big-eyed. And he's like, how can I live there? And his wife, who works in a zoo, she's a zoologist or whatever down there in South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So if they're watching, great. Awesome. I'm talking about you. Didn't get your name. But, and we had a good talk about why Chiang Mai over Bangkok or why Bangkok over Chiang Mai. And so there you go. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you haven't been to Chiang Mai yet, Mike, but you've been all over the world and you chose Bangkok.
Interesting, right? And again, you and I use this phrase all the time, which is I'm not a big city guy, but I love Bangkok. And then what I usually say quite quickly thereafter is the fact that I love Bangkok because it's so easy to get out of Bangkok. Not because I hate it and I can get the hell out of here. Like that's Vegas for me. I like Vegas because I can it's my favorite city in the world to get the hell out of. But I mean, Bangkok, it's like if Gracie and I want to go do something, like go to the beach, for example. We like Chaang, and we can take a bus down there, or we can take the train down there, and and the train that Gracie and I take, it's not the VIP one Robbie and Kitty take. It is like $45 baht, and for like a 3-hour ride, the windows are wide open, the seats are hard, and I friggin' love it. And as you know, Joe, I realized never wear a white shirt. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to do in Bangkok for sure. Now again too, both of you and I have sort of you're still kind of in the vacation mode. I am not going to be that this year. I knew that. Even last year though, Gracie and I were still traveling, vacationing, that sort of thing. But now with, the opportunities we have with the Spot and potentially an actual FM radio station in Pattaya, BKK.FM, just taking off, our YouTube channels, this show, I'm much more focused on work this year, just because of the satisfaction, I think, and the value that we can bring to a lot of businesses, and that'll be really fun. But we can still get down to that's the point, right? People say, "Well, I thought you were retired." I'm like, "Well, I am." I mean, it's
got to do something.
I got to do something. That's the thing. And my mom always told me, she goes, "Oh, well, Michael, you always needed a project." You know what I mean? We're talking like, she has a very good memory of when I was 3 and 4, and I was like setting up alarm systems in the basement. She's like, "What is this kid?" And so yeah, I mean, there's a lot to do in Thailand for sure, and mainly. And it's not like I haven't heard of Chiang Mai. The main reason I don't go there is because it's inland. And so if I really want to leave Bangkok, well, I want to go to the beach. And as you mentioned, I mean, there's a ton of beach. Gracie and I have considered living in Samui when we were down there, and we were renting a 2-story, 3-bedroom house for like $18 a night. No, I'm sorry, $12 a night. And it was COVID still. It was still COVID. We had to get like tests and stuff to go on and off the island. But the point is that we could have got a smoking deal on this place.
Yeah, but you're alone.
But that was, only child beach, right? I mean, I was able to like really, and the only people that I was interfacing with were Thais, and we would talk a lot about the fact that their business is cratered and they don't know what they're going to do. And I would be like, "So what do you do? I mean, do you pray it out? Do you still give offerings to Buddha or, whatever?" And what was interesting is that their level of resilience was very honorable for sure, and it was motivating for me, and also I had gratitude attacks because of it. But also, their level of panic didn't seem as high as the level that I experienced with people, for example, in 2008, 2009 in the United States. Right, that was basically like my biggest financial crisis that I lived through, because I was fully aware. I was totally an adult, and I had money invested in things, and I had a house, and I had a real job, and so that was
we could do that for an episode. Poor and broke come to Thailand.
Yeah, no, I mean, because although, you and I have said, don't come over here thinking you can live on $1,000 a month and only have $1,000 to spend in a month, because there's going to be a month all of a sudden where you're going to need to spend, $4,000.
I do have that video coming up where it's a $800 budget a month. So that is coming up.
God.
Exactly. You guys will have to stay tuned. I'm not going to tell you much about it. So, it's going to be kind of comical. But can you live on $800 a month here in Thailand?
I will tell you guys that when we were locked down, right, I was just living here and couldn't go out. So the only way I could get groceries was just have them delivered. And I was staying in the house. So I had my rent, I had internet, I had water, I had electricity, and then I had grocery delivery. That was pretty much what I had going on. I would order some stuff on Lazada, and that would come. And there was, a couple of months where I didn't spend $1,000. Because, and again, Gracie wasn't here, right? So I was eating like 40 and 50 baht meals. So I mean, it's totally possible, but you also got to remember, to get to that point, right? I had to spend 3 months rent to get this place. I had to sign up for all of these things. So I mean, I think it's possible, but again, as we've said before, the quality of life, right, for 800 baht, that's pretty tough.
It's all about the quality. What are you wanting to do? How do you want to live your life? And as I always say, don't come here not wanting to live your best life. I mean, come to Thailand wanting to live your best life, because it's here. If that's, once you visit here and you're like, wow, it's here. I mean, I can say that for myself. Maybe it's not for everybody. I shouldn't say that for everybody.
So, totally. Yeah. Of course. I mean, this is our experience, and this is our opinion, right? I mean, I was talking with a guy the other day, and I said, okay, well, I said, look, you got to remember, dude, this is Mike's opinion. Because
well said.
A lot of people will come over here and say, I got a buddy, he loves going to Pattaya because of what Pattaya offers him, not the least of which is basically 50% girls, 50% golf. He loves both of those things. He golfs every day, and he also goes to load leaders every day. Yeah. But he thinks, oh my God, Bangkok is a cesspool or whatever. And I'm like, dude, you go down friggin' Soy Chiapoon every day. Like that place is, and so it varies, right? And again, I never ever thought I would live away from the beach. Like, I mean, even when I was in San Diego, it was like, look, I didn't move all the way across the country.
Yeah.
I got to live near the beach. And, 3-4 block walk where Gracie and I were at. But this is pretty funny, and I wanted to touch on this too. Go-go hopping is you see a lot of 6'4" guys. I'm 6'2", and I get the same thing. But what's interesting is you mentioned you've been seeing them get on the beach. Are you here in Bangkok? Send me a message, dude. I mean, if you want to like get together or something, I'd be very curious to actually ask you many questions about how the last 2 to 3 years have been for you. If you are in fact your handle, if you are a go-go hopping kind of guy, if you go from one to the other. What's it been like? Yeah, exactly. Because that's a very interesting question. I appreciate you guys saying hello in the chat back and forth. And if you don't know, we're also on the spot.fm, which you can get online. bkk.fm if you're up here in Bangkok.
The Spot.
And if you're watching online at youtube.com/@the-spot Thailand and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. That would be really, really amazing because we are at, let me see what I took it this morning. And so we're at 965 subscribers, guys. And it would be really awesome to get to 1,000 because if you don't know, at 1,000, we get the community tab. We also then need 4,000 watch hours and we'll get to that. I have total confidence that we're going to do that. And if nothing else, we'll do it when we're broadcasting live, by the way, from Beach Road in Pattaya during Songkran. We're going to have a booth down there, the Spot. Make sure you come by. Tell your friends.
Yes, and next week we're broadcasting from Pattaya, right? Are we going to do that?
So that's a great question. I don't know. Yeah, we could. I mean, it's your last day here, right? Because you leave on the to the United States. Yeah, we could totally do that. I think that would be a great idea. We could do it from 1669, or we could do it from Steve's place, or we could do it from a new restaurant, quite frankly.
You sent me a picture of a new place. I don't know. I don't remember it.
Well, there's a place that so Brian Flowers, who we both know, who has Rage Gym, right? And he does like the boxing, MMA, BJJ, that whole thing. Right across the street from his Rage Gym, or right next to it, is actually a resort that he's bought that he's going to fix up. But right across the street from that is this restaurant called The Story. And he posted on Facebook as well as on his TPN, the Pattaya News, that the woman, she's got like no money and she couldn't, and so he invited like 12 YouTubers over there. And so she's like got way more business than she can even have staff to make food for, right? And I said to him, well, look, I mean, is she, because he mentioned that she might be closing.
Wow. I
said, is she really going to close? I said, because again, to our whole, like, we need the 4,000 watch hours. I'm like, we could do a remote there on behalf of the Spot. And, I mean, we know the lady right now that owns 95 FM well enough. We could probably be like, look, just stream our live stream here because we're supporting a local business in the community. So we could do our live show Saturday morning I believe it's the 21st of Saturday of January. So we could go live from there and then just play music, the whole thing, and then come in and do a remote. So I think you're right. I think next Saturday we should probably be down in Pattaya. We'll have to ping Mr. Mitch, see what he's up to, because he's down there. It'd be great to have him over there. Robert Mack, I know that he is probably up in Bangkok right now, right? Because he came by when you were in Pattaya.
Yeah, matter of fact, Robert Mack. I mean, he was online here a moment ago, but here's this good-looking gentleman right now.
Look at that.
Look at that. And you can have one. There's only a few left.
Yes, for sure. Definitely got to go. Where's the link to that? I'm trying to think if I have the... Yeah, there we go. I'll put the link up there. Spot.fm/store-swag. Make sure you go there. You subscribe 2 times to the Spot, huh? Well, don't forget, Joe, the second time you click the subscribe button, that's bad.
That's true. If it's the same account.
Yeah, don't do that. That means you get. Thank you, Rob. I'm glad you got one, buddy. Thank you so much for the donation. That was amazing that you picked up one of those from Robbie when you were there.
Speaking of donation, all the money that we're raising is essentially going towards the new studio. Yeah. And it's going towards a project we're working on, 95 FM, which we're getting closer and closer. And working together with Mike's here. It's been it's great experience, and we're hoping to bring that to you guys here. And this is why we do the show, is bringing you our experiences right here live, and you guys can share with us. So we appreciate all the chats, and we're going to go to a bunch of them right now. Let's see.
I wanted to say thank you for Stuck in Florida for coming by, because I know you're really busy, dude, and I know that there's also a ton of other opportunities for you to watch live streams. So I really definitely appreciate it. It's always good to see you there in the chat. And stayed in a room once with no window. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of gross, right? I always like the windows for sure. And thank you for coming by, Dave. If you guys have not subscribed to Gotta Love Thailand, Dave is amazing, and he was on our show last week. And through some quick clicking on his behalf, and basically probably a mistake, we were streaming live on his channel too, which we really greatly appreciate, dude. It was an honor because we had so many additional subscribers, as well as additional views, which, if you guys know anything, you probably know that always helps. So that
it does help for sure.
So wait, is this a new sub right here? Gray Night Jazz. And Vicky says hi, Robbie. Are these your buddies from Pismo?
I don't. Oh my gosh. And you're trapping, Mike. Trapping.
Did I put you on the spot?
Put me on the spot.
Get it?
But good morning.
Indeed. Thank you for coming by. And hello, Vicky.
Yeah.
I have a cousin, Vicky.
Hello, Paul. Hello, Joe. I mean, you guys, this is great. I like to see all this interaction. This is pretty cool.
Big time.
You know, we try to do our best we can to get to the comments, and sometimes we might miss them. We do go to questions. So if you do have a question, this is what this show's all about. So
did you say Joe super chatted you?
He didn't on this one. So I did a live stream yesterday.
Good. Oh,
and,
nice, dude. That's right.
Yeah, I did that yesterday, walking around. Went to a couple markets. And those who tuned in, we walked around this alley market, and man, it was pretty unreal. And we're watching this woman chop up frogs, and it was pretty cool.
She was chopping them up. I mean, they're small to begin with. Like, what was she?
Dude, these guys are pretty big.
Seriously,
they weren't small.
So deep fried?
I don't know. She was chopping up meat, and she had these, and Kitty points out the frogs, and I'm like looking back at the woman, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's chopping these guys up. I mean, and they're alive. So
what?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Okay, that's a bit odd.
Yeah, it was pretty. I'll be honest with you, it's actually cool. I actually enjoyed watching it for a brief moment.
Mutilating these poor animals, yeah.
And and there's fish and lots of live stuff happening. So I mean, the cat that was roaming around down there, I was hoping that's not what was.
Probably eating well. For sure. Now, when you said, it's interesting the way you described it. You said a alley market, I believe, or a market alley. I mean, was it really small street? Is that what you mean by that?
So what it was is we're walking down the street with a bunch of vendors, and I look to my left, and it's on the video, and I notice a bunch of awnings. I'm like,
"Thank you, Joe.
Let's walk down this awning area." And Kitty's like, "Okay." And man, it was just a narrow little pathway between buildings.
Okay.
And it was pretty cool. I don't know. To me, I like that kind of stuff. I felt like I'm in a different country, right?
Yeah, for sure. Right.
So, yeah, it was really cool. And we walked up and down this little alleyway and then we hit a big street, and we're getting lost. I mean, one of the things I really enjoy about Thailand, you really can't get lost if you have a mobile phone, but you feel like you're lost.
Mm-hmm. But it feels great.
It feels great, man.
It's not anxiety. You're just like, you know what? What's the worst thing that could happen? Oh, I'm going to eat rice for less than 100 baht, no matter where I end up. So it's like, this is great.
Yeah, totally. Hey, Andy, Phuket is a nice place. I liked Phuket. I don't think I could stay there much longer than maybe a month. I stayed there for 2.5 weeks.
But where do you stay? You stay. And this is why I'm teeing this up, because I think it's a rhetorical question. Where do you stay when you go to Phuket?
Well, for me, I go there. It's strictly a holiday. I'm close to Bangla Road.
Yeah.
So, which is what's the beach called there? Or am I getting it wrong? Patong Beach. Thank you.
I would invite you to go there and not stay there ever. The closest you should get to Patong Beach, it should be Kamala. And because especially during COVID, was amazing because there was no people there, and I was able to drive a motorbike and not feel unsafe. But I got to 26 beaches and I still hadn't hit all of them. But yeah, I agree. I mean, and that's the thing, right? To your point is that like you and I don't live near Nana. We don't live near friggin' Soy Cowboy.
No.
We don't even live near a Sok or anything like that, even Tongla. And so, I mean, it's like, yeah, I would submit that if you stay in those areas, yeah, you totally get burned out, don't you think?
Yeah, you do get burned out, and but you know, everybody has their different lifestyle. I kind of at that time liked going to the bars and hanging out, and I bring friends with me. When I come this next time here in March, at the end of March, I'll have a buddy with me, and we're going to do Songkran in Pismo. I mean, in Pismo Beach. We're going to do it there in Pattaya, and we'll probably go to some bars and stuff. So yeah, my 3 weeks there was pretty much resort and partying. So, and I don't even drink that much. I mean, it wasn't about.
No, you don't drink at all, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't had a drink since Nick left, a month ago?
Yeah, it's been a while. Has it been that long since he's been gone? Who's coming over with you? Bradley? No, Bradley's up there in Chiang Mai already.
Yeah, he's up here in Chaing Mai. So I think my friend Brian from Santa Maria, California, he'll be coming for Songkran.
Oh, Brian, the infamous Brian.
The infamous Brian who didn't show up this time, but that's all right. I get everybody has their stuff they're doing.
Well, so follow through that's a good thing. I'm gonna have to give him a hard time. Now, Grey Knight, you said I'm so glad to see the Hamilton side of you coming out trying to help others. I'm so very proud. We need to go for coffee. Now, when I read that, because it confused me when you said Vicky says hello to Robbie, so I thought maybe it was a friend of Robbie's. But when he says Hamilton, that's Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. That's where like I have family from. Nice. So I'm not quite certain whether you mean when you say your cousin, you mean me as your cousin, or whether you're talking about Robbie. Which actually, considering Robbie's here and he's so close, we should probably do a friggin'
there we go. There we go.
Hey, should we do some more? Dude, I am so ready for this. Look at me. I can just do this all freaking day long. Where's Christy when I need a $5 skadoosh? Are we at that time already for some pro tips, my friend?
We're really close. And you know what? Gary, okay, wait, what was the wife's name? Because, okay, now I understand the whole Hamilton thing.
Oh, you do? So it's relative to you, not me.
It might be because my mom's maiden name is Hamilton, and that is kind of...
I can see the Hamilton coming out of you. Got it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Enough. I understand the reference.
Yeah. Oh, Roai Beach. Love Roai Beach. Love it.
Do you?
I do, because I love the market right there. There's this fish market.
Yep.
The fish are still moving. You pick your fish, you walk across the path, and they cook it for you right there. And I'm thinking, dude, it was the best. Yeah, it was amazing.
The reason why I found that surprising is that is the place that I find that there are the most foreigners, meaning most persons like me that I don't particularly want to hang out with.
No, you're absolutely correct. We didn't talk about that with Chaing Mai, but maybe we'll do that in our pro tips right here.
We could, go for it. In fact, I tell you what, since you're up there in Chiang Mai, give us a pro tip relative to Chiang Mai, because again, I haven't been, so I need some tips from you on like how to either go, where to hang out, where not to stay. I get that already, but give us some Chiang Mai pro tips.
So I got a bunch of little tips, and maybe through this next little piece of 5-minute commentary or whatever, we'll kind of grab a bunch of tips out of it. And then one I really thought about is know your expectations. And what I mean by that is when coming to Chiang Mai, do not expect it to be like Pattaya. Do not expect it to be like a Bangkok. You know, Kitty and I were walking around last night last night on their, what they would call their walking street, or what they would call where the bars are at and the clubs are at. And it is nothing like Pattaya at all. It is quiet. I mean, there are bars, but there's not like bar girls hanging out, catcalling you. And just being aware of your surroundings is my big pro tip. Is when you come here on holiday, if you're expecting that, hey, I'm going to meet some bar girl. I'm sure there are places to meet bar girls. But the girls here, the people here, I've found out, they're genuinely here working at the bar, not to have you come on to them or whatnot. So come here with their expectation is you're coming here for culture. You're coming here for that history. You're coming here for the food and the people. it's just change your expectations. That's kind of my pro tip is when coming to Chiang Mai. Don't think it's like Pattaya because it's definitely not. It's not at all. And trust me, guys, I'm walking around thinking, okay, how is this like Pattaya? How can I put it in my video content? Absolutely, because I'm making video content, and I'm thinking, man, this place is nothing like it, at all. And the prices are pretty cheap. I mean, you can go and get a foot massage, which I did for an hour yesterday for 200 baht. 200 baht. And I'm thinking, wow. And these Thai gals, they're doing my foot, and they're like, this is awesome. And I haven't done an oil massage or anything like that here. And so I have no idea if that kind of stuff is happening. But the bottom line is there's tons of massage places here. They're everywhere. And they're nice resort-style massage places. And, it changed my view. I mean, I come here and I'm thinking, okay, this is a Thai person's holiday. This is a holiday in Thailand. I mean, I'm getting a lot of culture. I mean, man, the temples are amazing. But anyways, there you go. That's my pro tip. Come with the expectation, not of that of Pattaya. There you go,
interesting. Guys. Here's why I find that really interesting is that, I mean, again, like everybody, we're always learning, right? Hopefully. And it's very interesting because one of the things I realized early on is that Thailand is not Pattaya. Pattaya is a small microcosm of this entire country. And so sadly, people have this, this preconceived notion that, oh, you're going to Pattaya, you're going for the girls. And it's like, dude, there's maybe cities that total 250,000 people in that community where there's that. But the whole 75 million other people are as real as people in the United States. It's kind of like, is there prostitution in the United States? Yeah. But I mean, there's not, so that's really interesting. To that point, for a pro tip then, what I would recommend is that if you have the belief of any of the stereotypes of Thailand, get in a bus or a train and travel somewhere outside of where you are. Go at least 1 hour from wherever you are if you believe, like if you're saying to yourself, if you're over here on vacation, you're saying to yourself, I don't like this place, I don't like bars, this is so lame. Everyone keeps saying massage, and like I don't want to be in this. Get on a bus and just go somewhere. Like Robbie was mentioning before, get lost. I think that's my biggest pro tip for certainly today. Get lost. Bring your phone with Google Maps, okay?
Here's the pro tip. Bring your phone.
Trust in God, but tie up your camel, And so, I mean,
dude,
have
that's
a way.
Great. Trusting God, tie up your camel?
You've never heard that? I said that to a guy. You've never heard? I said it to a guy the other day, and he's like, what does that mean? And he was like, oh, God, where was he from? He was from an area that I thought he would know that. I mean, and I don't know whether he was, because it's obviously a super old statement, right? And it relates to the fact that where it came from, probably Bethlehem, is that there were camels, it's for
wandering
transportation.
Camel. Yeah,
wandering camels. And it's like, I mean, I trust in God, like he's going to help me, but I also have, the ability to use free will, and I know that I'm going to proactively protect myself. Like trust in God, but don't keep throwing 1,000 baht bills every 30 meters. Thing. Anyway, so for today, I want to say that my pro tip is get lost in Thailand. Purposely, just like literally, and I will tell you too that the whole getting lost. Some of you might think to take me literally on that, and I don't discourage you from that. Because if you don't have your phone and you don't have Google Maps and it's don't get lost at freaking 3:30 in the morning somewhere. But if it's 3:30 in the afternoon and there's a Thai within vision, especially if you are outside of big cities like Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Phuket, Patong Beach, that sort of thing. If you're somewhere and there's a Thai person, even if you can't speak Thai, they will assist you to the best of their ability. The first thing they'll do is probably try and find someone that speaks English. But the other thing is that if you do get lost, it affords you the opportunity to try and communicate with somebody else to basically find a place that you can go to an ATM or whatever like that. Because, my dad has this phrase, which is, I didn't learn a whole lot doing everything right the first time.
Oh, totally.
And the more mistakes that I've made that didn't harm other people,
Warren Buffett.
Yes. On a number of levels, yes. There's one level that he's not, but yes. He doesn't like Dairy Queen. The ability to find new stuff. Every time I've gone on a motorbike, especially during COVID when Gracie wasn't here, I would just get on a motorbike and friggin' go. Get lost in Thailand, dude. Absolutely get lost in Thailand. So...
Yeah, and you know what? I 100% agree with that, man. And getting lost, I mean, I've done it around the world, and I say that a lot because I really want people to understand getting lost here in this planet is not getting lost. It's just you don't know what you're doing. I'm telling
brush.
It's a broad brush, but you know what? I mean, if you have a device, if you don't have one, the guy next to you does.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Fair, yeah. Yeah.
If you don't have something, so when I was in Peru, I didn't bring my phone with me, and I was literally lost going, how do I get back to my hotel? And it's late at night, and I didn't know where I was at, and there's cobblestone roads, and I'm in Cusco. I'm in Cusco, Peru, and small cobblestone streets. And dude, I just walked into this business. It was a bar, and they said, oh, well, you're, basically a mile and a half away. That tells you how far I wandered without a device.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Nice. And they showed me the map and found it. And I walked in 2 other places to make sure I'm on the right path. But the point is, getting lost is, it's some freedom behind that. And I think that's why I like Bangkok too. Is when you're on Bangkok, I feel like I'm lost all the time. And it's just a mindset. Oh, I love it.
That's cool. Yeah,
because
nice.
I know the person next to me, they don't really care. They don't know who I am. They don't care. There's no
people are into their
keeping
own
up with the Joneses. I'm just a dot on this world, and I feel like, man, I don't know anything. I can't read that sign.
Right.
Let alone if I could, I'd butcher the crap out of it.
There's that. Yeah, you absolutely.
We'll be real about that.
Robbie the Butcher on the spot.
I love it. I love it. But anyways, guys, I totally appreciate you guys tuning in today. And if you're on Walking My Shoes Thailand, don't forget to live that best life and go where you're treated best. And tune into the spot because that's why we're here for you guys. And Absolutely. If you're with Mike's at
LiveMyAssOff.com, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming by. My name is Mike's. That is my very, very good friend, Robbie. We're going to do a skadoosh right now because we basically... Oh, my God, we have so many sound effects. Look at us. We are talented. Absolutely. Okay, one more. Hold on. We can do it. Boom. Okay. Boom. You see, it's all about practice, guys. Thank you so much for listening. It's Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com saying, I hope you're living the dream because if you're not living the dream, you're doing it wrong. And if you want to know how to do it right, feel free to email me at mikes@thespot.fm or email my great buddy Robbie at thespot.fm. With that, we will see and hear from you guys next week, same time, Saturday, 8